Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the El Cajon City Council meeting. The meeting is called to order, and I'd like to ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Mitchell is absent. All others are present.
All right, thanks. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing afterwards for a brief moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, the city clerk posted orders of adjournment of the September 23rd, 2025 meeting, the joint special meeting of October 7th, 2025, and the agenda of the October 14th, 2025 meeting in accordance with state law, City Council Housing Authority, successor agency to the Redevelopment Agency policy. Let's start off with our presentation for Haunt Fest, and our recreation manager, Heather Carter, is here to tell us about that. Hi, Heather.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. My name is Heather Carter, and I'm a Parks and Recreation Manager with the City of El Cajon here. And I'm here to talk to you about Haunt Fest. So Haunt Fest, as you all know, is our annual Halloween event in downtown El Cajon. It's coming up in just a few days here, this Friday, from 4 to 9 p.m. It is free admission, and we expect close to 20,000 people to attend. It's the largest free Halloween festival in San Diego County. And this year's theme is Monsters at Play. So we have a really colorful, family-friendly event this year. I'd like to start off by thanking our sponsors. Our premier sponsor is Downtown El Cajon Business Partners. Our diamond sponsor is Kaiser Permanente. Platinum sponsors are City Ventures and Saquon Band of the Kumeyaay Nation. And our bronze sponsors are Bath Fitter, Big Bully Turf, Hyatt Vacation Club, Cahoots Rancho San Diego, and Sugarman's Bath. So some of our larger sponsors were recognized back in May during AmeriCom Main Street, but one of our newest sponsors, I believe they may be here today. I'd like to take a moment to recognize them. It's City Ventures, and so if they are here, you can come on up. So City Ventures is our newest sponsor. They gave us $5,000 contributed toward this event, so I'd like to present them with a plaque, and we really appreciate your sponsorship and helping make this event happen. And if you'd like to say a few words, you're welcome to.
Thank you so much. We're just very pleased to be able to have El Cajon support in our building and continued building, hopefully, in El Cajon. Thank you.
Thank you for sponsoring.
Thank you. So some of our marketing for this event is we posted several times on Facebook and Instagram. We've been passing out postcards throughout the city. We just sent out an email today to all of our Parks and Recreation program participants. So that's thousands of people that have participated in our programs. You may have seen a billboard that went up on Main Street, and there's many street banners all throughout the city as well. We have some TV spots set for this Thursday, so look for us on KUSI and Fox 5 San Diego. We also worked with Arabic TV to put out a promotion in both Arabic and English, so we're really excited about that. They let us know they've gotten hundreds of shares on their channel. We also did a written interview with East County, California, and we worked with the school district on Peach Jar. We also were fortunate enough that the school district puts our promotion on all of the students' Chromebooks, so that's super exciting. And we were on the back cover of our Summer Guide to Recreation, which is mailed out to every single El Cajon resident. And finally, Downtown El Cajon Business Partners has a PR firm, which has been super helpful in helping us market our event as well. So if you haven't heard about Haunt Fest, I don't know where you've been. All right, some of the highlights of the event are, most of these are free. There are a couple things that do have a fee, but most of them are free. We have face painting, airbrush tattoos, trunk or treat, and a candy trail. And we do have a live DJ, rides, bounce houses, a rock wall. The Magnolia will be doing their haunted circus again this year. There are free tickets available for that online. We have a costume contest, a reptile petting zoo, food and craft vendors, games, crafts, a movie, interactive activities, and then if there is anyone in your group that just needs a break from the sensory of the event, we do have a sensory tent for anyone that does have any sensory processing disorders. And here is a map of our event. There are a couple changes from previous years. We've expanded our trunk or treat to include over 20 vehicles this year. That is sponsored by Downtown El Cajon Business Partners. And we have moved our costume contest stage, so I know some of you may be doing judging for that. That'll be on our Centennial Plaza stage. And our DJ has moved over to the Promenade this year. Our event map, as well as a full schedule of the activities, is available on our website. And to wrap it up, I'd like to thank the support of our city council, all of our community members, our businesses, especially in the downtown area, and just a collaboration of all of the city departments that help make this event possible. And with that, I am open to any questions.
Any questions, anybody? All right, thanks. We love Haunt Fest.
I see thousands of kids there with big smiles on their faces, and I see it as a way for El Cajon to give back to the residents, especially ones that can't afford to go to the fair or to Disneyland.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, and tell everybody who's working on it we appreciate all the hard work they're doing. All right, next we have a proclamation for National Community Planning Month. I'd like to invite our Community Development Director, Anthony Shute, to please come to the podium, and I'll read the proclamation. Noah, are you pinch hitting?
Hello, Mayor. Noah Alvey, Deputy Director, here to accept. Thank you.
Okay, great. Hi, Noah. Do you want to say anything before I?
Sure. I mean, just to start off, thank you so much for taking the time to honor Community Planning Month. Really, it's the City Council that really leads the way for us in the Planning Division, setting the tone through the general plan as well as your vision and your land use policies. So thank you for that guidance. That's really what makes our job easy. We did invite our planning commissioners to attend today, so I wanted to honor our chair, Tony Sotile. If you could stand up, Tony. Thank you, Tony. We also have Commissioner Edison has joined us as well, Shannon Edison. And then our other planning commissioners, Darren Morose, Rebecca Pollock-Rood, and Paul Circo. I don't think any of them snuck in. No, I don't see any of them. Also, just wanted to acknowledge Planning Division staff, so if I could have them stand up, please. So we have Mike Leone, our senior planner. Spencer Hayes Flores, our associate planner. Maisa Bazzini. And then Laura Jusek. So, really one of the more challenging things with the Planning Commission is all the nighttime meetings. So all these individuals put a lot of time and effort into all that work. So just really thank you for the time and thank you for acknowledging the hard work they do.
Well, thank you for all the hard work everybody does. Planning is one of those things, it's like the plumbing. You don't think about it unless something goes wrong. And, but you need it. And we wouldn't have all the good projects that we've had over the years if it hadn't been for the diligence of the Planning Commission, pushing back sometimes and, demanding excellence. I certainly appreciate that. And then I was a planning commissioner for 4 years. It's a lot of work. Luckily, you get paid a lot of money. So that's not true. And they work really hard. And we appreciate the time you put out to the community. Anybody want to say anything? Okay. So I've got this long proclamation. I think I'll just cut down to the end of the important part. Now, therefore, I, Bill Wells, Mayor of the City of El Cajon, together with the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 to be Community Planning Month in the City of El Cajon, in conjunction with the celebration of National Community Planning Month. Join us in applauding the many valuable contributions made by the City of El Cajon Planning Commission, staff, and partners. Signed this 14th day of October 2025. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, staff, do you have any agenda changes?
No, sir.
Council? We're at consent items. Consent items are routine matters enacted by one motion according to the recommendation listed below. With the concurrence of the City Council, council member or person in attendance may request discussion of a consent item at this time. Council members, do you wish to pull any of the consent items? Okay, thank you. Staff?
No, sir.
Angela, do we have a speaker card for consent?
We do, sir. We have one for item number 5 from Truth.
Hello, Truth. Nice to see you in a different venue.
Hi there. I always get to see
I
Bill.
usually see Truth at least once a week at Sandag. So
Yeah, so that seems accurate. Yeah, sorry it's been too long. I just want to speak on this because I wanted to speak first. So that's, no. The real reason is because once in a while I like to point out a city's investment. So nefarious companies invested in Amazon, Apple, AstraZeneca, BlackRock, Bristol-Myers Squibb, Hershey, Johnson & Johnson, Novartis, Pepsi, Procter & Gamble, and Walmart, to name a few of what I consider nefarious companies. That includes Hershey, one of the worst chocolates. That's an opinion. So when those securities mature, my ask would be cash out or invest elsewhere, because that could be a future investment policy change for more conscientious investing. Thank you.
thank you. Interesting. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent items.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
We're now at public comment. At this time, any person may address a matter within the jurisdiction of the City Council Housing Authority, successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency, that is not on the agenda. Comments relating to items on today's agenda are to be taken at the time that the item is heard. State law prohibits discussion or action on items not on the agenda. However, City Council and Housing Authority members may briefly respond to statements or questions, and an item may be placed on a future agenda. Angela, do we have any speaker cards for public comment?
We do, sir. We have 8. The first one is from Irene Branham.
Hello?
Thank you. Go ahead and start. One evening, while gathering signatures, I came across a swastika carved into the concrete with hateful words beside it. Just 50 feet on that same sidewalk, I made a young African man who signed our petition. But reflecting on that, I thought about the story of the Good Samaritan in Luke and how Jesus taught us not to cross the road and look away from injustice, but to kneel beside the wounded and lift them up. So I thank you, Graham, for that man won't have to see those hateful words on his way home anymore. And that is what leadership should look like: compassion and action. In the book of John, Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, saying, I have set you an example that you should do for I, as I have done for you. True leadership serves others. It does not seek to be served. In the book of Matthew, Jesus said, you will know them by their fruits, not by their titles, not by their churches, but by the way that they treat the least among us. So when I see performative politics and policies that endanger immigrant families and silence community voices, I do have to ask, what fruit are we bearing? Before this recall campaign, we were warned that this mayor would resist holding a special election to replace Phil Ortiz's seat. And weeks later, I saw a 6-year-old post on Facebook about the replacement of Ben Colasso, stating that whoever would be chosen would come from Foothills Church and that they'd bet $100 on it. And sure enough, from that pool, Phil Ortiz rose to the position. We cannot call that democracy when the outcome is already decided. And to Councilmember Goebel, I had questioned the indemnification clause that you added last minute. And when I raised that concern to Phil, Phil deflected and blamed you. But accountability should never be passed around like a burden. Phil, in your response to the recall petition, you warned that it would cost the city hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yet, just shy of 1,000 signatures, the recall closed. And on that very same day, Friday, October 3rd, the city was sued. Maybe that's coincidence, or maybe it's divine irony, because what we refuse to fix in compassion, we often pay for in consequence. And so, I really wonder sometimes, Phil, after I heard you were a pastor, at which gospel would you follow? Would you protect a mother being dragged down because of her immigration status, or would you hand her over to ICE? Because I feel that if Jesus walked into this council today, some of you would turn him into Pontius Pilate.
Alexander Kraft.
Good morning, good afternoon, El Cajon residents and gentlemen of the City Council. I see that Ms. Mitchell isn't here today. My name is Alexander Kraft. It'll be a pleasure to be sitting in your chair at come 2026 after I win the election for mayor. So, thanks for the smug smile, Bill. You've been looking really smug when we have brought up the criminal intent of the resolution directing the city police to collaborate with ICE. You've made a lot of statements, both to us and in the press, about how we're overreacting, making things up, hysterical about this. That we would be so foolish as to take your stated intent to break the law seriously. And I don't imagine you're feeling very smug now that the state attorney general has actually held you accountable for doing exactly that. And in fact, although the initial coverage of the Attorney General's lawsuit regarding the sharing of license plate reader data with agencies outside of the state only covered that specific fact, I have personally viewed the data as reported by the article in PBS, showing that actually that data was being knowingly shared specifically for the purposes of immigration enforcement. I've seen the spreadsheet. I've seen the reasons listed as ICE assist, as ICE investigation, as immigration investigation, precisely the things that we have been talking to you about for months, knowing that you were doing, that you've been lying through your teeth to us and to the residents of this city and to anybody who will listen to you on Fox News about. So here we are. Now you're going to waste our tax money. And by the way, I am a homeowner. I am from El Cajon. We are talking about my tax money that you're now flushing down the toilet because of your outright lawlessness and your smug lies. So thank you very much for proving us all right. And by the way, I'd like to point out that undoubtedly y'all are going to get up and say, oh, well, computers are very complicated and we just didn't understand how it was configured. We didn't mean to do this. Well, I'm sorry, but all that means is that you're either knowing intentional criminals or that you're incompetent and don't understand how to govern and how to police. So whichever one of those you'd like to land on, either way, you're fired. Thank you.
Next speaker, Jose Cortez.
Hello, everybody, and everybody here in attendance. I wish I was here under better circumstances. For months and months on end, community members like myself, I was raised and have lived in El Cajon for 30 plus years. I plan on living here for another 30 more. We've been coming out and having to speak out against what has essentially been the most dangerous form of political theater that I've seen in our local politics just in my lifetime. The passing of a very dangerous resolution in a politically charged moment that doesn't actually assist the people of El Cajon in any meaningful way, a material way. It doesn't fix the broken water fountain in Kennedy Park. It doesn't reopen the bathrooms that are shuttered. It doesn't solve the homelessness crisis. It's literally just designed for one purpose and one purpose alone: to get those who are interested, those who want the political spectacle, the platform that it presents in front of the camera so they can seek their next position, their next election. And the fact that we've had to engage in recall campaigns against uphill odds, against odds that are basically insurmountable for working people who can't afford to take their families on a vacation, let alone go out and, pay the insurmountable fees to hire consultants, do the stuff that people in your positions maybe just take for granted, tied to these donors and these fundraisers. And they still went out 3 times a week, talking to thousands of people, knocking on doors in your neighborhood, Phil. And like I said, I was talking to people today. They knocked on hundreds of doors. No one spoke in your defense. So this mandate, the 14,000 voters that voted for Bill Wells in the last election in a city of 100,000, it doesn't exist. And the fact that even against all those odds, against the odds of a recall and its success in this really, really stacked system, dozens of people came out every week. They not only came out, they got inspired. They kept fighting. They found their heart and their soul in a city that has otherwise just ignored us for months. And for that reason, they found the strength to not just accept when the campaign was over. They're going to keep going. And they're going to run our own candidates. We're going to run people in 2026 and 2028 that actually do represent our needs and listen to us. It's really disgusting to see the just gaslighting on the news about how, we're only going after criminals, when the data speaks volumes, not anecdotal evidence. 70% of people apprehended have no violent criminal history or criminal history at all. Using your platform, using your positions to just do this kind of theater, to put yourselves in front of cameras at the expense of all of us. When, like I said, I can't even go with my friends and family to use water fountains in our parks. When there's potholes that are devastating my vehicle. When literally we're having all of these really solvable problems that we could be focusing on and using the platform that you were given by the voters, sometimes not, like Phil, who was appointed or ran unopposed. We should be using that platform for good. And the fact that you haven't means that you do not govern for us, and we're going to vote you out. So just be prepared. Be prepared. And I want to see you debate and not just be smug. Debate. Get up, put your money where your mouth is.
Reverend R.J. Lucchese.
Well, hello again. So I wasn't going to submit a public comment today because, quite honestly, I'd rather be home with my children. But I did read a statement by Phil Ortiz on our failure of the recall coming up short. And so I wanted to just address him directly, you, Bill Wells, you, Steve Goebel, and everyone here today. Since the start of this year, us grassroots groups here in El Cajon, made up exclusively of unpaid volunteers, have petitioned the city council, the mayor, to rescind their racist and illegal measure to no avail. We have appealed to your Christian in name only religious sensibilities, citing the clear demand on followers of Christ to welcome immigrants, which unsurprisingly has fallen on ears not meant to hear and eyes which refuse to see. All the while, you sit up here and inexplicably maintain El Cajon police are not working with ICE, despite you passing it from the community, and thus why it failed. I had to really say some words today. So these extremists you speak of freely volunteered thousands of hours away from their families, knocked thousands of doors, had thousands of conversations with the community of El Cajon in District 4, your district, Phil Ortiz. And by the way, one of the things you said in your statement, you said that the recall failed because of all the good work you've done in the community over the last 7 years. Guess what? Hand to God, I must have knocked hundreds and hundreds of doors this summer. I didn't talk to one person who even knew who you were. They didn't even know who you were. But your good work is why we failed. That's right. So, it's not surprising. Jose mentioned it. You were appointed by Wells your first time around. You ran unopposed the second time. So not surprising at all. You don't represent anyone other than your fellow Christian nationalists up there. So, this is not representative of the community. And unlike yourself and others in the council who get paid to miss meetings and pass racist do-nothing measures while breaking both California law and rejecting the teachings of Jesus, us extremists were the ones who were actually upholding California law and standing on business, standing on the values of Jesus. These extremists you speak of, we want to see our diverse and working class community of El Cajon well taken care of with affordable housing, access to healthcare, education, a safe and welcoming environment for its vibrant immigrant communities. And unlike yourselves, again, who are deep in a far-right movement, who want to strip all of that, stand against everything that Jesus taught, it's just disgusting. It's so disgusting. I'm disgusted every day being here talking to y'all. And we know this last part is true. We know this is true. We know your intentions have racist intentions. Why? Because again, you said it. You repeated the racist lie that El Cajon police working with ICE is to target criminals who are targeting El Cajon families. What a despicable, racist thing to say.
Hey, Reverend,
your time is
up. Your time is up, Reverend. Your time is up, Reverend. Your time is up.
Listen,
you need to.
We don't come here for you. This is what
we're going to take a break.
We'll
come back in 10 minutes.
Community, largely against your far-right extremist views. We come here to remind people who the real extremists are. You are the real extremists. It's you, Phil Ortiz. Yeah, thanks a lot. It's you too.
God bless America. I was just taking
people of the United States in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for our
Who's next?
Next speaker, Steph Cajon.
Well, good afternoon. And first of all, I want to give my condolences to every citizen, tax-paying, non-citizen tax-paying member of El Cajon, and any member of the City Council who was not aware of the shenanigans that were going on with those automatic license plate readers, that city resources are going to have to be spent to defend the city against their own unlawful actions. I imagine those of you who ran to represent the city didn't sign up for this kind of situation that we've had the last few months. So I hope that this will change soon, and we'll certainly be working as a community to change it. It's such an irony, and it feels like hypocrisy to me that there's been so much talk about people following the rules in terms of immigration when the city council itself is not, and the city police themselves are not following California state law. And in the mayor's comments in response to the lawsuit, it seems pretty clear to me that he believes that he is above the law. And we're here to remind you that you are not above the law. And I'm curious because I know that during the whole question about the resolution regarding SB California State Bill 54, that the city took the time to send a letter to our state attorney general to seek clarification about the parameters of SB 54 in order to protect the city from any problem, or the police from any problems between federal and state laws. So I'm just curious whether the same was done in regard to implementation of California State Bill 34. We all know that the founders of this country were very concerned about people of power, our politicians, overstepping their bounds, because that's what they had experienced with the king, and that the whole Constitution and our legal system is about not allowing for that to happen. So I really hope that the citizens of El Cajon will step up to stop the erosion of their rights now that they have more information, because also, as I say, walking the city of El Cajon, talking to the people has been a great joy for me, as hard as it was to find the energy day after day to go out. Working with the people I worked with, what a fine group of people. And the people I spoke to, very few knew anything about what was going on at the city council, and they were very concerned as they found out. So now they're going to know more, because it's going to be in the papers. But I'm sorry it has to happen this way. And just remind you that you are not above the law. Thank you.
Just have a quick question for you. By any chance, did you read, I put it out there. It's about 2-sentence law. Have you read it?
Yeah.
Yes. What part of that says that we're breaking the law?
No,
it's
okay.
very clear that we're not breaking the law. And
well, that will be decided by the courts.
Yeah, look, if a judge tells us that we're wrong, fine.
Okay.
But just because I'm not above the law, it also doesn't mean Rob Bont is above the law. Okay. We have a nation of laws. We're not breaking any laws. I just want you to know that.
Okay, that's what you're saying, but you've been charged with having broken the law?
No, we haven't. We haven't. He hasn't even filed the lawsuit yet. I don't think he's going to. So, I think you're so clouded by your hatred, all these groups, that.
Am I a hateful person? Anybody who knows me, am I a hateful person? I come here out of joy. I do not have any hate for you.
I just want to tell you.
You do not matter to me. What matters to me is the actions. But you matter to me as a human being. So I am not here out of hate. And anybody who knows me knows that I am not here out of hate.
I'm just saying a little honesty would go a long way. So, all right, thank you.
That's right. Right back at you.
Next speaker is Truth.
Hey there, policeman. Truth here, at least that's what a Chaldean guy called me earlier. For the record, I support the Faces of Freedom program, and I'm glad Michelle questioned the incubator program, which received $500,000 tax dollars, only to have pretty much nothing to show for it. If anyone remembers, I was suspicious since day one. Is this program supposed to be expecting people to sell shares of their intellectual property in order to be offered faux help? Why didn't this incubator find lenders or secure a trust account? Why would the first 6 businesses, were the first 6 businesses house their El Cajon residents? Because only one is now. How do you have an incubator program with a busted building who can't help local candidates? Only their own salaries paid for by every taxpaying resident in the county. And I do not accept Bill's dismissal of that $500,000 tax dollars as not in our control, nor do I accept Phil's claim that metrics are messy as a cop-out from responsibility. If the incubator can't prove tangible results, then this scam program needs to be immediately ended. I am also against Bill's $1,000 plus trip tomorrow with a $323 a night hotel room, excluding meals and transportation, to the America First Policy Institute Mayor's Council being held in D.C. Because this seems political in nature, not city business, it should be reimbursed via your own campaign expenditures. However, I do expect a report back on policy ideas if I'm wrong about that. That $1,000 could go toward fighting a no coincidence, frivolous, retaliatory lawsuit, political attack against El Cajon by the corrupt Attorney General, Bonehead Bonta is what I like to call him. For years, he has chosen to ignore Sandag, wasting countless thousands of our tax dollars on fake business lunches and trips, and the head insurance idiot, Ricardo Lara, wasting our tax dollars on seeing DJ Kitty Glitter in New York City, rather than trying to do something about insurance companies dropping people from their plans. And speaking of political attacks, the recall failed miserably because 99% of its backing came from the city of San Diego. That's a fact. The communists and socialists being bussed in to infiltrate these meetings misrepresent the will of the city. And that includes the fake reverends who admit to being left-wing politically motivated agents, and the old TDS hippies who admit to having what they call white privilege and then hypocritically claim to speak for all immigrants while also exposing their racism by suggesting that those immigrants are only good as their personal slave labor. That's no different than saying you don't want anyone black to become free because then who's going to pick the cotton? A TDS sufferer even claimed people who have skin color other than white are threatened by ICE. Wrong. ICE has tons of support because they're getting pedophiles off the streets, too many to name. Everyone should be against an illegal black market system that imports slave labor from other countries. It is cruelty masquerading as charity. Nobody can claim to be pro-labor, like purple shirt Alexander Kraft, and then support exploitation of workers. Anyone encouraging exploitation because they want to save a buck at the grocery store is shameful. Talk about people that have ears that don't hear and eyes that won't see. No political union will ever buy this city. Thank you.
Truth, you brought something I just want to say. The reason I'm going to D.C. tomorrow is we're going to go to a seminar at the White House talking about opportunity zones and how we can help people make more money by opportunity zones. So I think it's worth the money. But
Okay.
the other part of that is I think you know this, but I want to just remind you that $500,000 you're talking about did not come from the city of El Cajon.
Right. I said every taxpaying resident of the county, isn't the whole county paid
I
for
know,
it?
but I think it's worth clarifying that it
Yeah.
came from the county,
Not the general
not
fund.
not from the city.
And I will say for the record that I did see opportunity zones on the website. I did check out the website to see what they promote. And it is not 100% political in nature. So it's not like I was saying do everything Trump says. It doesn't say that on the website, to be very clear for the record. But
Well-
that's why I say if I'm wrong, if it's not, because it could not be.
You know, they invited me, we discussed it, we're going to talk about opportunity zones and some other things. But, you know, I'll report back to you when I come back and tell you how it was. And I don't mind you asking the question. It's completely legitimate.
Yep. Well, you know what I do? I hold everybody accountable.
I know you do.
equally.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it. All right.
We have 3 more speakers. The next speaker is Rin.
Good afternoon. My name is Rin Corbet. Thank you for hearing us. I'd like to start by reading something written by a young girl, someone we all know of, but have apparently forgotten. Terrible things are happening outside. Poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find that their parents have disappeared. This was a journal entry written January 13th, 1943 by Anne Frank. Anne Frank wrote this 82 years ago. She and her family were taken from their attic hiding place and sent to concentration camps in Poland and eventually gassed. Young Anne died of typhus. Why? Because they were Jews. They were different. They were called the other. We have similar abductions happening here in El Cajon and all over the United States today. Why? Because people are not white and they speak Spanish. But they are not the other. They are our families, our neighbors, people we work and play with. They have committed no crime. They are not taking our health care. They are not depleting our resources. They are adding to our community, working hard with and for us. Many volunteer with our military and serve with distinction. In return, we treat them like animals, tearing them away from home, school, work, church, and all without due process. Sending them away. What a shame. What a crime. What a horrible stain on our national soul. And unless we stop it now, the corrupt regime will be emboldened to send our own military, not just ICE, into our cities, and they won't be looking only for immigrants. Thank you.
Next speaker, Tara Foster.
Hello, everybody. I've never done this before, so bear with me. I would like to speak out against the ICE agents that are terrorizing our neighborhoods and police cooperation. From a personal level, I have a lot of family and friends that have green cards, that have various different stages of where they are becoming citizens in the United States, and I'm genuinely afraid for them. I have friends who are Afghan refugees escaping the Taliban. They actually constantly spam my friend's Facebook page threatening their lives. If he's deported, when he gets off that plane, he'll be decapitated. And that has happened to a lot of Afghan interpreters and refugees where they're just being picked up off the streets without due process and shipped back to their country. And that's a real concern. He has a 1-year-old baby girl, wonderful people. They help out with nonprofits. They're wonderful and welcoming in our community. And it keeps me up at night to think of things like this. Another thing is my husband works with children. They take them outdoors, they take them on trips, and usually they're kids that come from homelessness or unfortunate situations, inner city kids that never even see the beach, even though they live in San Diego their entire lives. Those kids, there's a ban where they're not allowed to go out to Joshua Tree. There's a ban where they can't travel so far because they're afraid that they're going to get pulled over, and those kids are going to end up in zip ties, and they're going to be detained by ICE agents. That is a real concern, and it's heartbreaking that these kids, with the limited experience that they already have, are even more limited because of this terrorist group, this new age Gestapo that's happening and terrorizing our city. And I just, like, my heart, I'm fine. You know, like, for me, I'm a white girl. Like, I can hide up in my mountain and not be bothered, but these are the people who are just like me that can disappear any day now. A friend of a friend, her father is missing, detained by an ICE agent, has been gone for a month. He's their family's sole providers. We actually gave them money in order for them to pay for their electricity. So I'm not coming at you with hostility or aggression. Like, I understand all sides of the spectrum, and, like,
Appreciate that.
And I do. And, you know, I went to a great protest, and the El Cajon police officers were super collaborative with our event organizer. They wanted everybody to be safe, so thank you for keeping us safe. I just think at the end of the day, like, it's so much authority that ICE has and being able to hide themselves. Who disappears next, and how do we find them? It's just the ripple effect, and if we don't speak out for these people that aren't the same color of us, that don't speak the same language, when are we the next ones on the list? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Gary?
Last.
I have a question for the city manager. Could you explain any cooperation, if any, that historically we have given to ICE, or if we're going to change anything?
Under SB 54, we are prohibited from cooperating with ICE. We have complied with that law. Me and the police chief talk about it on a regular basis. We have no connection with ICE in terms of helping them with enforcement of immigration.
Almost weekly reminder, I didn't vote for the resolution, and neither did Michelle Mitchell.
Our last speaker is Brenda Hammond.
Hi. I already hear the whispering in the back. It's my understanding that El Cajon PD is there to protect people of El Cajon and people like me that are visiting that run away here when they want to be safe. I just see these people just freaking out. Graham, did you make these yet? You can hand these out to these people so they can squeeze this instead of freaking out. And I'd like to know how long it took to put that skit together. And I saw some campaigning there. Is it time to campaign? I don't think that this is the time. And using these immigrants that you want to protect to campaign, that is not right. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Yeah, please.
Okay. Regarding the lawsuit, we have not been served. The court has rejected the Attorney General's lawsuit twice for errors, which seems ironic to me that the Attorney General of the state of California has a lawsuit rejected for errors. We have not been served. I predict we won't be, and here's why. The state of California gives driver's licenses, including to illegal immigrants. If that illegal immigrant drives to Arizona and gets stopped by the Arizona State Patrol, that officer will run that ID number. The state of California will share with that officer that person's name, address, height, weight, hair color, eye color, whether they have corrective lenses, their date of birth. The state of California will share that information with law enforcement in Arizona. We are making available a picture of the back of a car with a license plate to registered law enforcement people. We don't know who's driving. We don't know the identity of anybody else in the car. And we do that so that we can make that available in instances where children have been abducted, in custodial pursuits, custodial situations across state lines. We will share that information for victims of child trafficking, that we might find them as we know that they are crossed state lines. It's the picture of a license plate on the back of a car. And I think that what we have to do is to remind the state of California they are sharing a whole lot more personal information about illegal immigrants with other states than what we are sharing. For that reason, for the protection of children, we will continue to make that data available to law enforcement officials for investigative purposes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we can't have a back and forth right now. I appreciate it. You had your chance to talk.
Are you calling for the release of the Epstein files since you care so much about children?
Ladies and gentlemen, we really can't do this. This is not the forum to have a back and forth like this. I mean,
About your care for the children, right? Let's get honest.
Mr. Mayor,
yeah,
I had the same question based off of the KPBS article about the 537 instances where that term was the immigration term. And I had that question for my city manager. Can you clarify, because it sounds like from the article, we shared license plate information 537 times about immigration. And can you just give some context to what that number means?
Certainly. I'll have the police chief answer that specifically because he can get granular with the council if you want. But while he's coming down, I just want to comment that it's a shame that the best reporting that San Diego County gets is from reporters like Gustavo Solis. With his misrepresentation, after talking with the chief and was given context and background, purposely chose not to include that or was just lazy, has created this frenzy. And I think there was a time when KPBS was a trusted news source in this county, and it's hard for me to say that it is today. So with that, Chief, maybe you want to explain why there would be immigration showing up in a search.
Yeah, so it's an entire network that was searched. So out of the thousands of networks across the nation, El Cajon is included in that network. So when an agency searches for a specific plate, which they need to search for a plate within the network. So they have an information on a license plate or a vehicle identifier, maybe a make and a model. They searched nationwide, and El Cajon was included in those searches. There's absolutely zero indication that El Cajon was specifically targeted or anywhere in California was targeted for that information.
so when you say search, the entire nation is searched at the same time.
That's correct.
So it's not just that El Cajon had a search. It's every jurisdiction within the country had the same search go through their system.
That's correct. Every single jurisdiction that has the Flock automated license plate reader cameras was searched in every one of these instances that was referenced in the article.
As long as we're clarifying things, is there any truth to the idea that people are coming from out of states to have abortions in California? Or we're assisting those states in trying to apprehend those people. That's what the Attorney General has suggested. Is that true?
Well, we have no information of that. We would have no way to take any action on that one way or the other. So we're here to respond to crime and prevent crime in the city of El Cajon. That's our primary function.
I assume the same thing would be his assertion that we are stopping people from coming in for transgender care.
Yeah, again, we would have absolutely no information on that.
But never had an instance where we stopped somebody from having an abortion or stopped somebody from having transgender care?
No, we have not.
I didn't think so.
So, I mean, Chief or Graham, so the search went out 537 times last year, and there were hundreds of thousands of results in that search, and El Cajon data was included in that search. Is that right, or am I off?
No. It's imagine the network is like you're punching in something to Google, and you're going to get results from depending on where that information comes from. So they put a license plate into the automated license plate reader system. They're searching for it for a specific reason, and then they're going to get the information on where that license plate was if the agencies, depending on how long different agencies keep it. El Cajon, we keep our information for 30 days if it's not involved in a criminal investigation, which is actually one of the shorter terms around. We did that as an option.
And we delete it after 30 days. We delete it after 30 days.
Yeah, we delete it all after 30 days. So the system wholly is searched. It's not a targeted search.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Which is actually the benefit of the system, because if the more vast the system, when you're trying to quickly identify where somebody might be involved in criminal behavior, you want more cameras in more places to be able to quickly identify where that vehicle might be.
Right. Okay, thank you.
More questions? As long as we're just clarifying, this law, my understanding is this law started in 2015.
SB 34?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Yeah, SB 34 it was adopted in 2015.
So we've had the law for 10 years. We've been using it lawfully. At some point, the Attorney General decided that this was not the way he wanted it done. Is that the right? Am I saying that correctly?
That's correct.
So were you ordered by a court or a judge to change the law or to stop utilizing the law you've been using for 10 years? Did you ever get that court order?
No, we have not.
What did you get?
We got a letter from the Attorney General with his suggestion that we stop sharing out of state.
An advisory.
An advisory letter.
All right. So I just want to make that clear, because there's a lot of things that get confabulated when you're telling the story, and this is what the truth of the story is. All right. Thanks. You know, I'm sorry, you guys had your chance to talk, nobody interrupted you, so your time is done here.
And Mr. Mayor, if residents are concerned, the chief and I are willing to meet with anyone that wants to understand the system. We'd love to help provide clarity where the newspaper article in KPBS didn't provide clarity, and so we were open for that.
I agree. I think that's a great idea. If you want clarification from Graham, just talk to our clerk before you leave, and we'll work that out. Probably, rather than have 20 individual meetings, it'd probably be better to have one meeting where you met with people. All right, any more questions for the chief? Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more statements or anything? Well, we're going to move on then. Okay, we have no written communications on today's agenda. We have one public hearing on today's agenda. Item 11 is the amendments to the 5-year program of projects for Sandag, and staff will tell us about this.
All right, good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is Mario Sanchez, City Engineer.
Hi, Mario.
Good afternoon. This item is talking about the 2025 Sandag RTIP amendment. And it's our amendment to the existing 2025 program.
What just happened? Phil, what happened?
Should be good now. Okay. The San Diego County Transportation Improvement Program, also known as RTIP, is a voter-approved 1/2 cent sales tax that was adopted by voters in 2008. The intent of the Sandag Transit Program is to relieve traffic congestion countywide. And the city receives approximately $3.5 million annually to fund our transportation-related CIP projects. Sandag board policy requires all local cities to hold a public meeting prior to any changes to the plan. Sandag requires that any negative fund balances be removed in the current 5-year program of projects. The reason for the negative balance, as I'll show in the following slides, is to correct or true up Sandag's estimated revenue projection figures. And the proposed reduction in Transnet does not impact any appropriations in the current fiscal year budget. This is our existing program of projects. It's essentially a 5-year CIP of our city's capital improvement program that's recorded with Sandag. So this slide shows the existing program of projects, and the next slide shows the proposed program of projects that reflects the removal of the negative balance based on, excuse me, revised revenue projections. Staff recommends to reduce the program amount of our ELO3 street overlay account because we have other funding sources such as SB1, RMIA to offset this change. So we're removing negative carryover balance and some about roughly $389,000 of our program. So staff recommends that we open the public hearing and receive testimony, closes the public hearing, and adopts the next resolution in order approving the amendment to the proposed 5-year program of projects for the Sandag Regional Transportation Improvement Program.
Let me see if there's any questions first. Steve, go ahead. Mario, thanks. In layman's terms, that is a negative carryover balance. Does that mean that we spent more than we were granted?
No, just less tax revenue. So Sandag makes their projections, and they do a true-up annually, and so we have less money to program. So
sounds good. Okay, thanks. So with less money coming in than we expected, how does that change the outcome of the program?
We offset that particular account, the ELO3, with SB1 funds. So our current projects are already programmed in our CIP. So they're already budgeted. So we just have this as to augment those projects.
So it doesn't touch the general fund dollars?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any more questions? Thank you, sir. Do we have any speak cards for this item?
We have one from Truth.
Hi, Truth.
Hi, let's put it on the record who was doing the harassing of Brenda Hammond. That's, what's her name, Marianne, whatever, the one with the catering. We all know who that is. Okay, Sandag, now that that's on the record, I feel better. Sandag's contract for the Regional Transportation Improvement Program is under a monopoly by giving all contracts for the program automatically to the San Diego Building and Construction Trades Council, a subsidiary of the FAL-CIO. In 2021, despite several illegal conflicts of interest via board members approving a contract with an organization that either belonged to or were funded by, this monopoly contract was unjustly signed by the trade's CEO, Carol Kim, and former Sandag Soviet dictator, Hassani Krata. Carol Kim, who is also the CEO of an alleged slum complex in National City that funnels money to the most corrupt Democratic candidates, sent out an email blast to all union minions entitled Call to Action, Sandag Project Labor Agreement Vote that said, quote, at the Sandag board meeting, July 23rd, this vote will authorize a project labor agreement for all of the work covered by the Regional Transportation Plan, upwards of $160 billion over the next 30 years. We need 50 to 60 members to call into the meeting. I can also find someone to read it on your behalf. Talking points and messaging. Women and Black, Indigenous people of color would be really helpful. Here are some talking points, and she lists a whole bunch. During the meeting, I'll be available by text. Carol Kim, San Diego Building and Construction Trades Council, end quote. They faked that they represented us regular people because it was all about the money. The Regional Transportation Improvement Program inherently makes all of these political unions rich while overspending our tax dollars on projects that really do nothing beneficial for the many congestion and safety issues on roads, sidewalks, and on transit. This has become a political program, as admitted on the State of California Employment Training Panel website, quote, Gretchen Newsom has implemented efforts to turn San Diego red to blue at city and county levels and change leadership and direction at key regional agencies such as Sandag and MTS, end quote. Adding fiber optic cable to eventually control computer cars and adding spy cameras to track the computer cars are definitely not the type of projects worth benefiting political unions via this program. Do roundabouts qualify as equipment to improve traffic flow and safety? If you're going to use the transit tax dollars to build those ugly roundabouts, I'm against it. And if the program's contract means the building and construction trades can use the overinflated profits to keep funneling our tax dollars to their union minion candidates, maybe Alexander Kraft, I don't know. I'm against the city's participation. If no to any of those, my last minute idea, the intersection at 2nd Street and Main could use some beautification paint for pedestrian safety. And then you have a bunch of kind of like the hawk signals, but they're just on. And I would never cross. That seems like a death wish. You don't have any paint to signify to people they should stop. And less money, I heard, is that another failed Sandag prediction? They use CoStar. CoStar has a monopoly contract on the data that Sandag uses. Maybe that's the problem. Thank you for listening to 3 minutes of information.
You know, I want to say one thing. I really appreciate Truth coming to Sandag meetings all the time and keeping everybody honest. She obviously does a lot of homework. All right, any other speakers? Okay, let's then bring it back to the City Council for more discussion and or a motion.
Mayor, you probably should close the public hearing first.
Oh, thank you, Councilor. I'd like to make a motion to close public hearing. Second. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Okay, any discussion, or would somebody like to make a motion?
Move adoption.
Second. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
All right. We have 2 administrative reports on today's agenda. Item 12 is a request for an all-way stop sign on Narenka Avenue and Grape Street. Staff will tell us about this. Hi, Mario.
Okay, good afternoon again, Mayor and council members. Mario Sanchez, City Engineer. This request is for an all-way stop at the intersection of Narenka and Grape Street. Just to give some background, this was requested at the September 23rd council meeting regarding the traffic calming policy and the need to install traffic calming measures with the possible installation of an all-way stop at this particular intersection at Narenka and Grape. So Narenka Avenue between North 2nd Street and North 3rd Street is often used as a bypass route to the busier streets above Broadway Avenue to get through those neighborhoods. This section of Narenka Avenue is 1/2 mile in length, and there are no existing stop signs on this stretch. And Narenka Avenue at this location carries about 4,500 vehicles per day. And as shown on that map there, Grape is the midway point between that section of street. Again, there's an intersection, a photograph of Grape looking westbound towards North 2nd Street. So this is a two-way stop sign controlled intersection with existing stop signs on Grape Avenue, or Grape Street, with no stop signs on Narenka. And the posted speed limit, or the residential speed limit, is 25 miles per hour. And I'll just go through these slides to give you some context of the location. Viewing left, viewing right, viewing south at the intersection, and viewing right from the north north leg of the intersection. So engineering staff conducted an always stop study, and the data that was collected revealed that the 85th percentile on Narenka Avenue is 31 miles an hour. And we did an accident history for the past 5 years, and there have been 4 accidents that occurred at this location. 2 of them broadsides, one side swipe, and one involving pedestrian. And we also measured the corner sight distance and determined that the minimum sight distance required for a particular street, residential street, is 275 feet. And when vehicles park close to the intersection, that sight distance is severely restricted. So as you know, staff uses the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices and uses a point system developed by the city of San Diego back in the 80s. So a minimum of 30 points out of 50 is required to warrant the installation of an always stop. And the warrants that we take a look at is accident history, special conditions such as limited sight distance, and traffic and pedestrian volumes. So the data that we collected, we scored 24 points out of 30. And since this location is on a walking route to an elementary school at approximately 1/4 of a mile away on Broadway, and it's and the less than ideal sight distance, staff is recommending for the installation of a 4-way stop. And the stop signs would be put on Narenka. So staffers recommended for council to adopt a resolution approving the installation of a permanent always stop signs on Narenka at the intersection of Grape Street. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Mario, questions for Mario? Steve?
Even if you enforce, I think it's called the daylighting law, that cars can't park within 20, 22 feet of a corner or something like that, even if you would, if that was enforced strictly at this intersection, would the line of sight still not be enough?
Probably not enough because, as you know, there's driveways and so forth that people can't see traffic as they come down the street. So even if you put red curb, it's not going to help.
And I think what you might have known but didn't say is the other 2 streets that are parallel, Peach and I believe it's Marlene, do have 4-way stops at those. That would leave Narenka as the logical choice to skip Peach and Marlene because it does not currently have that restriction. So making them consistent makes sense.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mara, thank you very much. Do you have any speaker cards for this item?
No speaker card, sir.
All right, then it's back to council.
I'll move we adopt the resolution approving the installation of a always stop sign at Narenka and Grape.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
All right, we have no commission reports on today's agenda. Am I missing something?
Item 13.
Did I skip one? Oh, there it is, yeah. Yeah. I guess I've ready for summer. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. The last administrative report, item 13, is a review of the mayor and council cafeteria benefits. Staff's going to tell us about this?
Hello, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. I am Megan Blake, Human Resources Manager. The city periodically reviews compensation and benefits for employees, including the mayor and city council. Today, we are talking about the cafeteria benefit allotment used for medical, dental, and vision benefits. The current cafeteria benefit allotment for general employees and the mayor and city council is $1,550. Effective January 1st, 2026, the cafeteria allotment for general employees will be $1,700. Staff is proposing the mayor and city council's cafeteria benefit be adjusted to $1,700 to match the general employees. That is the end of my report, and I am here for any questions.
Okay. Questions? Okay, thank you very much. Speaker cards?
Yes, sir, one from Truth.
I knew it was coming, Truth.
We got to have a fun one somewhere in this. I thought maybe you were hungry. That's why you didn't want to, you were going to skip it. Okay. See, we're having fun now.
You think we're going to stop and have sandwiches like they do at Sandag?
Oh, yeah. They spend our tax dollars on sandwiches. I should talk about that sometime. Okay, total of $9,000 more a year for all the employees to eat lunches. Do you guys need to eat equal to the rest of the staff? Is that necessary? I was curious why there wasn't a justification for the increase, because there's no San Diego $25 an hour minimum wage or $10 an hour parking. Maybe you guys are just eating too much. Maybe the staff is eating too much. They're having a really good time. They're working hard, actually, is what it is, I think. Maybe it's the cops. The cops have a lot, just in these meetings, it looks like they have a lot to respond to. I think they're extra hungry. I don't blame them. I would support the cops specifically having an increased budget to eat.
You know, you do know this is about health benefits.
Is it health benefits?
Yeah,
well.
it uses the generic term cafeteria, but there's all the different health benefits you can choose, and you've got so many dollars to choose from, and you pick like you would in a cafeteria.
So wait, if you pick too much food, then you increase your hospital costs?
Well, that could happen. And I'm not saying we don't have any problems with eating, but
yeah.
This particular one is about health benefits.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm learning something. That's why you keep your mind open. You can't think you know everything, because there always is something more to learn. Well, it's okay though, because no matter if it's food or if it's healthcare, any cost, travel, we can actually blame Biden inflation. That's the main cause of the increased spending. So, gotta love today's theme, accountability. It's very important. Thank you.
Thanks for reminding us. I appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, I did calculate. If it was for food, that's $58 per day. That's a lot of food consumption.
Yeah.
So that would be a pretty good benefit. Okay.
Yeah, it depends where you eat.
That's true. I eat cheap.
Well, look what McDonald's is almost like $15 for a value meal, right?
Well, I get most of my meals at 7-Eleven. That's why.
Oh yeah. I like the Arco hot dogs, right? All right. Got to get this back under control and continue. All right, so that's, any more speaker cards? All right, I don't think we need a motion to close public hearing, so it's back with us.
Well, despite your best efforts to skip this agenda item and
Yeah.
prove your fiscal conservatism,
Yeah.
I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Okay, please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
All right, we have no commission reports on today's agenda. Item 14 is my activities report, and it stands as written. And we'll ask for the activities reports for council members. Councilmember Goebel.
The East County AWP has a board meeting on Thursday. We are probably within 1 year of going live with that program, so it's looking very good.
Can you explain that?
We will take all of, except for a few homes in Fletcher Hills, which sewage drains, wastewater drains towards the mesa. probably 95% of Elkhorn's wastewater will be sent to be treated in a 4-step process and then put into Lake Jennings. That will reduce our reliance on the county water authority to buy water at their rates.
We'll work on this for a while,
We
5,
broke
6 years?
ground in summer of 2022, so it's been 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. Seems
It's
longer.
about $1 billion project. Let me tell you about MTS. We had a public safety committee meeting last week. It was interesting. The discussion is, how do you treat people who don't pay for the trolley? What is the penalty? Currently, San Diego is the lowest agency among the major agencies in California. It's a $25 fine. Or you can do 3 hours of community service. In the first 3 months since that, no one chose community service. You do get a waiver, a one-time waiver, and 90% of the people chose the one-time waiver. But we don't know if you're a repeat offender, so theoretically they could choose the one-time waiver again. But what's frustrating is there is talk about moving it. If you don't pay the fine and don't do service, after 120 days, it goes to a court, where I believe it's turned into an infraction. 3 infractions may equal a misdemeanor. The talk is to move it to a civil or administrative. If you don't pay it, then it will potentially go to a collection agency. My concern there is, will the collection agency report it to your credit? And now you're really in trouble because you can't even get a car loan because of a $25 fine. Will the collection agency even take it for 25 bucks? Do you have to add an $100 administrative fee to make it worth their while? They won't pay that because they wouldn't even pay the $25. So there is discussion about how to handle it. I said, well, we have these homeless courts where if you have 8 citations for illegal camping, you can go to homeless court and have them all taken care of in one instance. I asked, why don't we do a transit court? If you're a repeat offender, just go, and I'm okay, just pay the $25 fine, forget the interest and things like that. Just acknowledge that you should have paid your fare and you didn't, and you should have. It's a big discussion now about what to do with people who don't pay fares in the trolley. If you don't report it to a collection agency, now it's a de facto honor system. There's no penalty for not paying the penalty. Interesting discussion. We'll see how it lands. It's going back and forth. That should be back to the board in early next year. Thank you.
Just
insanity.
Out of curiosity, any chance we'll ever get a bathroom in our trolley?
There is a bathroom at the A1 Mart, and they keep it up pretty well.
Oh, okay.
And they actually take a hose to the walls and to the floors to clean it several times a day.
Oh, so that's open for the public?
It's open to the public.
Oh, good to know. All right. Thanks. Phil?
As reported, with one addition to East County Economic Development Council's Gillespie Field Committee. That was today.
Perfect. Gary?
As reported.
Okay, there are no joint council member reports, no general information items for discussion. Item 19 is a first reading of ordinances to adopt by reference the 2025 California Building Standards Code, Title 24. I'll ask staff to introduce this item.
Hello, Mayor. Noah Alvey, Deputy Director for the Community Development Department. This is the every 3-year update to the California Building Code. So we are asking the City Council to move forward with the first ordinance reading this afternoon. The report does indicate we have 3 local amendments. Those local amendments are the same amendments that we did 3 years ago. That's for the purpose of making sure that we can expire permits that have been in plan check for a long time, and also that we can recover or that we can issue refunds for plan check. So that concludes my report. We're just asking you to introduce the ordinance at this time, and then the public hearing will be at the next council meeting.
Okay. So I've got here that I'm supposed to
ask for speaker cards and for discussion and voting. Is that what you want me to do?
Right, the public hearing, and when we adopt codes by reference, we have the public hearing second at the second reading. So for today's purposes, you would seek comments from the public, and then at that point, direct the reading of each of the ordinances by the city clerk. I mean, in total, each of the ordinances by the city clerk.
Okay. So thank you. Now,
Thank you.
are there any speaker cards on this item?
No speaker cards, sir.
Okay. Then it comes back to the council.
I'll make a motion to introduce the ordinance as outlined in staff report and request the city clerk to recite the title and directs the city clerk to schedule a public hearing on the 28th of October.
Thanks, Phil. I'll second that. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present. And the titles only. For the California Building Code, an ordinance repealing sections 15.040.010, 15.04.050, 15.04.070, 15.04.080, 15.04.100, and 15.04.105 of Chapter 15.04 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, and adopting sections 15.04010, 15.04.050, 15.04.070, 15.04.080, 15.04.100, and 15.04.105 to Chapter 15.04 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Building Code 2025 edition as amended by reference. For the California Electrical Code, an ordinance repealing section 15.20.010 of Chapter 15.20 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Electrical Code 2025 edition as amended by reference, and adding a new section 15.20.010 of Chapter 15.20 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code. California Mechanical Code, an ordinance repealing sections 15.48.010 and 15.48.050 of Chapter 15.48 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Mechanical Code 2025 edition as amended by reference, and adding new sections 15.48.010 and 15.48.050 of Chapter 15.48 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code. California Plumbing Code, an ordinance repealing sections 15.52.010 and 15.52.050 of Chapter 15.52 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Plumbing Code 2025 edition as amended by reference, and adding new sections 15.52.010 and 15.52.050 of Chapter 15.52 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code. California Residential Code, an ordinance repealing sections 15.54.010 and 15.54.030 of Chapter 15.54 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Residential Code 2025 edition as amended by reference, and adopting new sections 15.54.010 and 15.54.030 to Chapter 15.54 to Title 15. California Fire Code, an ordinance repealing sections 15.56.010 and 15.56.050 of Chapter 15.56 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Fire Code 2025 edition as amended by reference, and adding new sections 15.56.010 and 15.56.050 of Chapter 15.56 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code. California Green Building Standards Code, an ordinance repealing section 15.60.010 of Chapter 15.60, of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code and adopting the California Green Building Standards 2025 edition as amended by reference, and adding a new section 15.60.010 of Chapter 15.60 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code. 4 more. California Historical Building Code, an ordinance repealing Section 15.88.010 of Chapter 15.88 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Historical Building Code 2025 edition as amended by reference, and adding a new Section 15.88.010 of Chapter 15.88 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code. California Existing Building Code, an ordinance repealing Section 15.84.010 of Chapter 15.84 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Existing Building Code 2025 edition as amended by reference, and add a new Section 15.84.010 of Chapter 15.84 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code. California Wildland Urban Interface Code, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of El Cajon adding a new Chapter 15.57 to the El Cajon Municipal Code, adopting the California Wildland Urban Interface Code 2025 edition by reference. And the last one, the California Fire Hazard Severity Zones Code, an ordinance repealing Section 15.86.010 of Chapter 15.86 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, and adopting Section 15.86.010 to Chapter 15.86 of Title 15 of the El Cajon Municipal Code, designating very high fire hazard severity zones and wildland urban interface areas within its jurisdictional boundaries.
Well done. All right, you sure you're done?
Mayor,
Okay.
she missed a point on the very first one, but we'll let it slide.
Oh, well, I think she
Sure
should
it
have
is.
to do it all over again.
Yeah.
All right, there are no second readings and adoption of ordinances on today's agenda. We have 4 closed session items on today's agenda, and our city attorney will recite the title and lead us into the closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council's meeting in closed session on conference with legal counsel on existing litigation pursuant to paragraph 1 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9, the people of the state of California versus City of El Cajon, case number 25CU053437C. The second one is a closed session for conference with legal counsel on existing litigation pursuant to paragraph 1 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9. The name of the case is Donnelly versus et al. Versus City of El Cajon et al. It's Superior Court case number 25CU049465C. The third one is a closed session for conference with legal counsel on existing litigation pursuant to paragraph 1 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9. The case name is Yukina Mendoza versus City of El Cajon. It's a workers' comp claim number 240100383. And finally, there's a closed session on public employment pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B1. The title of the position is City Attorney.
Thank you, Morgan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to closed session, and then we'll be right back, but I need to ask for a vote on this. Make a motion to adjourn the closed session?
Second. Oh, we don't do public comment for closed session.
Public comment on, oh, actually, hold on.
Oh.
Morgan, should we do public comment for this?
Yeah, you may ask if there's anybody.
Is there anybody who wants to make a public comment?
No speaker card.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of those present.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back pretty quickly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from closed session. I'd like to ask the city attorney to report on closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. As for item 20, the city council gave the city attorney direction on that matter, pending litigation, existing litigation. As for item 21, the city council heard a report, no action was taken. Item 22, the city council authorized staff to, and the city attorney to or gave direction to the city attorney and staff. And as to item 23, no action was taken.
Thank you. This brings us to adjournment. The regular joint meeting of the El Cajon City Council, El Cajon Housing Authority, successor agency to the El Cajon Redevelopment Agency, held this 14th day of October 2025, is adjourned until Tuesday, October 28th, 2025 at 3:00 p.m. Thank you very much.